go, and when I'm not hacking, I should be training people in cybersecurity, which is hacking. And when I'm not doing that, I should be influencing people, which is what I'm doing right now. So let's get started. Enough of me. You get to meet the other speakers as we progress, right? So let me quickly give an intro to what we're doing today before I allow the resource persons to speak. Now, what is cybersecurity? Quickly, what's cybersecurity? I'm not going to use my slide. I just want you to have something to look on for visuals. Cybersecurity is simply securing the. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So cybersecurity is simply it's a practice of securing the not just informations, computers, datas, your phone, your gadget, whatever you use to connect to the internet to stay on the cyberspace. It keeps it secure. So cybersecurity is simply the practice of keeping these informations and data secured, right? That simply means if you're a cybersecurity expert or professional, there are 3 things you should be interested with, either employed or still in the process of learning. You should be interested, not just you as a cybersecurity expert, also as the company providing internet service or web service, like your Netflix, your WhatsApp, your Twitter. There are 3 things they provide to you: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality, I'm going to be very fast. It's simply the information, no other person has access to it. If I send you hi, I'm sending the hi to just you. So you should be able to be sure that that information that is passing through the web, through my phone to your phone with the open port, is getting directly to you. Now, okay, so guys, now, sorry for that little noise, right? So for me to say that I am a cybersecurity expert, I should understand these 3 things. If I'm called to secure information, what am I securing? If I'm called to hack a company as a pen tester, what am I coming to do? You're securing the confidentiality that the data did not change. Another person does not have the authority to see information they should not see. This is just a quick rundown before we get into the main thing. And then integrity simply means the data did not change. The information did not change over the internet, right? The first one, confidentiality, simply means that the people who are not authorized to see an information should not see it, in the sense that if you pay a premium for Netflix, and then another person did not pay, they should not be able to access videos that the one who has paid should access, because then they are not authorized to have that content. That's like the simplest example. Then integrity, my information, that's why they ask you to use only website that are on HTTPS, because there we have certifications and hashing and encryption. And then the third one is availability. You and I know that if you try to get to Facebook today and you can't access Facebook, the first thing you check is your PC. If you have internet, if your PC is bad, if something is wrong from your end, because you believe that Facebook should always be available. And for people who understand cybersecurity, understand that availability is a top importance. Here in Africa, it may not be important, but we know that a lot of people have sued a lot of foreign companies for their data not being available as at the time when they need it. So availability to data is very important. Now that you know this very important information about the CIE triad, now you're welcome to the team. Now, being in the team or in the field, it's good to now know what path in cybersecurity should you be interested in, and should you be ready to focus on. Now, the first one is the blue team, and then we have the red team, and then we have the purple team. Quickly, the blue team are the people that defend. They like to defend an organization from cyber attacks. I'm just using the simplest terms to explain these things. So they're just defending whatever they do. They monitor, they analyze risk, they analyze what is it called, breach cases. When there's an internet fraud, they investigate it. They are basically defending the organization. Now we have the red team. The red team, oh guys, we are the hackers. I like to be proud of that. We are the hackers. Companies invite you to hack into their database, hack into their servers, hack into their machines, hack into their gadget, and see if there are vulnerabilities that can be exploited by these malicious attackers. And if there are some of those vulnerabilities, you send them a report showing them with a proof of concept that this website and this and this and this is vulnerable to an attack. That is the work of the red team. Now, the purple team are mostly expert and consultant. What do we mean? They have a good knowledge of the blue team and the red team. Most times, they are the people that they have over time and over usage and over experience. They've understood the blue team and the red team. I'm not here to teach or explain in a broader view all of these teams, because we have people who are going to extensively talk about it, show you the roadmap. Now we're talking about roadmap today. How do you know the next course to take, the important certifications to take, the courses you want to spend your time? I joined a live on Twitter, a space on Twitter, I think last 2 weeks. I joined, okay, last Sunday, and then they were talking about how to get started into cybersecurity. And then someone said on the group, why what he said is true, but I think I needed to stitch it. He said, just get started instead of asking yourself, where do I get started? Where do I get started? What do I do and what don't I do? And you're wasting more time. And then I asked him, but I think what you said is true because it helps them fight the fear of getting started. But what about if they don't know where they're going to and they spend a lot of years learning what they may never need in their career path, or in their niche, or on their roadmap? He said that is true, but at least let them get started. So this particular meeting is going to help you not just get started, but to also hold your hands and show you, if you're interested in the blue team, if you notice you have traces or some skill, core skill in the blue team, you focus it and build it, right? It's good to have a knowledge on all of them, right? Yes, but this is where I'm running to. And if you're very interested in the red team, you find yourself trying to break things, then you jump on the red team and you have a roadmap to jump on. So as we continue, let me introduce the next person who is going to be speaking on the blue team. I would want him to introduce himself, so I'll stop sharing so that he can share his screen right now and continue from there. Yeah. So
Hello,
Mr.
everyone. Can you hear
Cybersecurity.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
I must say, I'm delighted to be here, but just give me a few minutes. Let me just share my screen so that you guys can see what I'm saying. Because it's best we see everything together so that everyone is going to be on the same page. And not only that, we can as well um, understand the processes or all details that it entails.
So please, can you increase
Okay.
your voice? I think your voice is really down.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah, well, we can see it.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can see it. Okay. Good. All right. Okay. We'll be talking about cybersecurity uh, blue team roadmap. So it's going to be a brief session, and as we progress, please, if at any point you have any question, you can just document it down so that after then your question can start coming in so that we can utilize our time effectively. I don't know if my voice is audible enough.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, good. So who is behind this voice? Who am I? Now, I'm a cybersecurity analyst with years of experience working in the domain of cybersecurity. I've gotten some level of certification, um, which is not limited to HCI security, HCI routing and switching, SOC analyst foundation, certified network security specialist, offensive engineering, and the likes. So I'm also a registered member of Shodan community, and most importantly, I'm a Christian and I love music so much. So it's part of what is inspiring me in cybersecurity. So let's go further. Okay. All right. In this webinar, we'll be covering some of the context here, which is a definition of cybersecurity, which Wealthy has thrown some light, but we're still going to look into it. And we're going to look briefly on how cyber attack affects us. And also, we're going to look at the various themes which she has actually talked on. And after that, we'll be introducing the blue team, the concept that is, that blue team is all about. Next, we'll be talking about how does blue team work? Who are these blue team? How are they carrying out their operation? How are they working? And next, we're going to talk about blue team methodology, because as we have a red team methodology and also purple team methodology, blue team also have a method that they are using to carry out their activities. We're going to look into that, and we're also going to look at the roadmap, that's the advice roadmap that a beginner, as a blue teamer, what he or she is expected to know, which of them he or she is expected to start with, and the likes. So after that, we're going to look at some of the practice lab. I'm going to look at some of them they are paid, some of them they are free rather. Why some you have to pay some little things to subscribe to have access to utilize the virtual lab for your testing, for your monitoring, and for your analysis. So next we're going to look at some persons, some cyber folks who to follow. That is persons that who are those recommended persons I have in my slide that we can follow to get more updates and more content. And the 10th slide we're going to be on question and answer. Now, what is cybersecurity? What does cybersecurity truly mean? It's just like say we have a digital clock that helps to keep a digital lock rather, that helps to keep our information safe. Take for example, you have a local safe in your house and you use a padlock to to protect the content of that safe, whether it is money, jewelry, or whatever thing you have there. You have a padlock there to protect it. So that lock there is serving as a level of security. Now, in the cyberspace, when you're talking about cybersecurity, we are talking about in a digital form, a lock that helps to protect your online information, keeping them safe and secure from those bad guys. Because one thing we have to understand and we have to admit that there is always a bad guy. Before I continue, I don't know how many minutes am I expected to talk so I can time myself, because I want to work with exact time so that I'm not going to eat in someone's time. Well, I don't know if you
Yes, sir,
can
you're
hear
supposed
me.
to speak for 20 minutes, sir.
Okay, 20 minutes. All right. All right, I'll work with that. I just hope I want to finish the third slide before then. Okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to speak for 20 minutes.
All right. All right. Thank you for that. So those bad guys, they're there to steal and to cause damage to such information system. And it involves using special tools and practice to protect your computer. Not only computer, just like your phone and other digital devices from hackers and other cyber threats. So that is what cybersecurity is trying to explain to us. So how does this affect us? Now, From the statistic in 2023, the global annual cost of cybercrime is predicted to top over $8 trillion, according to the recent cybersecurity venture report, which we can get the report in on this URL that is at the base of my screen. So we can see that this, as time goes, the rate at which cyber attack it's increasing at a level that is that more hands is needed to cope such attack. Now, from this cyber trend and this analysis I have here, still from the same site, we can see the 10 biggest data breach in history. Now we can see that even in Nigeria, we recorded over 12.9 million cyber attacks during the presidential national election. Some of us might have, might recall this particular story that we heard that INEC and, Isa Patami came out and said that we had over 12.9 million attacks on that day of the Nigerian presidential election. The attack might just basically be from scanning, trying to get details of the this thing, or sending multiple ping requests just to cause denial of service, or doing all forms of related attack. So it is from that they were able to say that, okay, from what they had over 12.9 million cyber attacks. So also we can see also that some of us might have heard some of our loved ones talking about account hijacking, which is not limited to WhatsApp, Facebook, and the rest. So all these are just some of the cyber attack trend. During the NSAS period in 2020, after the COVID-19 has the pressure has reduced in Nigeria, we noticed that there was a lot of cyber attack on the CBN, that is Central Bank of Nigeria, even Nigeria Police Force database, and other commercial banks. Specifically talking about the Nigeria Police Force database, we saw so many senior officers' personal details. We saw their home address, phone number, their even the amount of money that they are receiving as a salary. Such information is not expected to be what is expected to be in the public domain. Such thing was actually made possible because of the cyber attack. And we're going to talk about the ransomware in the year 2021 and 2022. Phishing, there are so many cyber attacks out there. Now, let's move further. So let's look at some of the various teams in cybersecurity, because since there is this attack, or this all these forms of attack and more is there in existence, there are there, there is need for one to have personnel on ground, or professionals on ground that will go to cope this particular attack. That is why those personnel, they are divided into three major teams, which one of the team is what I want to talk about basically, but we're going to look at it on a glance to look at the difference between three of them before I will not extensively talk about the blue teaming. The first is the red team. Many people in the cyberspace now, many cybersecurity professionals, most of them, majority of them, they always enjoy doing red teaming. They want to be an ethical hacker. Even they go to to any gathering, you just like ask the participant there, okay, what is your passion in cybersecurity? They're just like, I want to be an ethical hacker, I want to be a penetration tester, I want to be so many other position as it relates to red teaming. And most of them, they forgot to understand that we have purple teaming. I also have blue teaming. Now, what is a red team, or who are those red teamers? These are the penetration testers, the vulnerabilities. They basically break system. They test system security by breaking. They stand as if they are the bad guys trying to attack a system to know how secure the system is. That is basically what red team is all about. For them to do that, they carry out penetration testing, vulnerability scanning, and social engineering threats, and so many other techniques that they are using to carry out this particular attack on the system. Next, we have is the blue team, which is the team that I'm representing. The blue team, as the red team, they are the attackers. The blue team are the defenders, standing over, standing in the company, trying to protect the company infrastructure from any form of cyber attack. What they are doing, they always monitor network, data, and log analysis. They also carry out some level of risk assessment, which we're going to talk extensively later, threat detection, and the likes. So these blue teamers are the ones that are working in the organization. The red teamer can work outside, but majority of the blue teamer that I've seen, they are working in the organization to carry out a defensive approach to any form of cyber attack. Now, who are the purple team? Since we have red team to be attackers, blue team to be defenders, who then is the purple team? Now, the purple team is talking about a representative from the red team and also a representative from the blue team coming together to collaborate, to share information, to report and carry out other form of analysis to ensure that there is a proper communication or collaboration between the red team and the blue team. But I'm not going to talk about that since since we have another professional in that area that won't talk about the purple team. So now let's go further to introduce what blue team is all about. The blue team is responsible for defending, like what I've said, against cyber threats and securing information system. That is the core responsibility of a blue team, to defend and also to secure information system. Just like how we have those like those of us that love football. Now, if you look at the setting of of a whenever a team is trying to go for a particular football competition or a match, that their defender, they always ensure that the defender, is a very strong and not only strong, not only strong, but a skilled person. Even though they are strikers, that is their attackers, or other form of, persons that is over there, even though they are not living up to expectation, they will ensure that their defender, they are very strong. So also, if you bring that to cybersecurity, now these blue teamers, they always ensure their core responsibility is to defend against all forms of cyber threats and to secure the information system. Their primary focus is on preventive measures, which one of them include incident detection. How will my system or how will the organization going to recover from from all forms, from cyber attack when it has occurred? They will detect the incident, and they also know the response as well, and know how to mitigate that thing from happening. That is their core focus. Blue team work closely with other teams such as the red team, like what I've said, and the SOC. Now, this SOC is the Security Operation Center. Now, this Security Operation Center, what they basically do, what personnel in that particular domain basically do is that they are part of blue team in though, but SOC is comprised of red team and also blue team and even purple team. Because if you look at SOC, working in a SOC, it means that it shows that you have the ability to monitor logs, to carry out incident detection, and to, I don't know if someone is trying to speak. I'm hearing the background noise. Okay, please let's mute our mic. Let's mute our mic so that we all can be carried along, please. Thank you. So let's continue. So that SOC is Security Operations Center. What they are doing there is they basically monitor the infrastructure of that company to ensure that the network, the network infrastructure and other critical infrastructure of the company is safe from all form of attack. Any traffic that is coming outside from the organization to hit the organization server, they ensure that such traffic is not a malicious traffic. If it is a malicious traffic, what they will do, they will find a way to what? To bring it down. And so many other level of SOC analysis. So, how does blue teaming works? I'm hearing about blue teaming. How do they work? How how do they used to carry out their operations? I don't know. Can you guys still see my screen?
So we can see it, yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, we can see
How
you.
do they work? Now, they are responsible in establishing security measures around organization key assets. Let me talk about this a little bit. There was a time I was being contracted by MTN Nigeria. Although then, I was among the 30 penetration tester. Then I was serving as a red teamer. What we basically do there is that talking about the I was talking about some of the how blue team works. Okay, so what? Firstly, here we have responsible in establishing security measures around organization key aspects. I mean, asset rather. So, and also they conduct a risk assessment by identifying threats and weakness. So, what they do not only establishes, security measures, creating of, all forms of, secure, good practice. They also carry out a risk assessment by identifying threat and weakness. And this risk assessment, it might not only be uh, you know uh, uh, um, um, content that is on the website. The company might also be facing an insider form of an attack, which is known as as a as which can be in the form of a disgruntled employee. So such employee can serve as a threat to the organization. So what this particular blue team, what they usually do is that they will conduct a risk assessment and they will classify these risks based on the severity. Is it critical? Is it of higher risk? Is it of lower risk? Or is it of medium risk? So when they have classified this risk severity level, then they will now carry out, and from that they will now identify the threats. Like what we just did now, we just identify the threats that a certain set of persons are trying to post, or they posted, or they try to hijack the screen to post their unsolicited content. So as we have identified this weakness, then we'll be able to mitigate it by throwing them away. So that is also one of the activities of blue team. So they also identify critical assets, determine what impact their absence will have on the business. So imagine you are working in like currently, I'm the cybersecurity compliance officer in Secure ID. So what we basically do is that we're going to classify our assets and determine what will happen when a particular details is missing. And as you are determining that, it is as well, it's the impact of it. We're going to lead to organization they might end up losing money, and also it might even end up destroying the reputation of the organization. That is why the blue team, one of their role is to identify the critical access and determine the impact their absence will have on the business and document the importance of that asset. Imagine you have a network, your organization has a network, an internal network, and you and your IT, your network analyst or your network specialist, they they map out the network without even considering having firewall, which we're going to discuss later, firewall or even IDS or IPS, or even having a DMZ, that is a demilitarized zone on that network. So what will happen if such network has been hijacked by a cyber criminal? So that is what a blue team usually do. They will want to classify all this and then determine the impact of such things, how it's going to be to the organization on their absence. As part of the regular maintenance, blue team will perform DNS audits. You'll be basically going to be doing audits, a lot of audits, just like my company here. What we are doing, we audit different. We audit the network. We also audit the people in that is the staff in that organization, just to ensure that no one has a malicious intent and to ensure that everybody is behaving according to the laid down principle or policy or according to the standard of that organization. So we're going to be carrying out regular maintenance and also perform DNS audits, scan internal and external network for vulnerability is very important. If your organization has an internal network, it is very important for you to scan that network for vulnerability. That is one of the roles of a blue team personnel, and capture network traffic samples for analysis. Now, let's look at the methodology. I was trying to let us know that as red team has a certain methodology to carry out their attack, so also blue team. Now, I will only focus on the blue team. Now, for blue team, you have to gather information. That is the first step, information gathering. You have to gather information about the system you want to audit, the network you want to scan or you want to assess for vulnerability. You expect to carry out this information, like gather enough information about it, like the IP address, which how many how many endpoints is connected to the network, how many is the network, is it an internal network or an external network, who will have access to this network. So as you are gathering this information, is known as information gathering. So next, you're going to carry out a risk assessment. If it to be red team, they'll start talking about scanning, footprinting, and enumeration. But for blue team, after you have gathered information about it, next what you're going to do is risk assessment. You will carry out asset identification by stating the numbers of access you have, and also, just a minute, let me mute everyone so that we can hear ourselves and not be distracted. And please let's try. I've mute everyone right now, so please let's avoid unmuting our mic to avoid to reduce distraction, please. If you want to talk, you can signify, then the moderator will going to call my attention to that, please. So let's continue. So you carry out risk assessments, which involves asset identification, evaluation, and threat identification. I've talked about this before. So next you want to do is to carry out, after you have carried out a risk assessment, next is vulnerability investigation and exploitation, which you're going to focus only on the vulnerability investigation. For the red teamer, they will go to exploitation, which is penetration testing. After a vulnerability has been discovered, you will now exploit that vulnerability to know if that vulnerability is exploitable. So that is what blue team usually do after they've carried out risk assessment. So they now carry out vulnerability investigation. Who has access to this? And not only that, are they carrying out or are they accessing the content of this information system according to the laid down principles or standard? So after then, you now also check, is the system, is it up to date with the security, with the necessary patch? How many ports is open? How many ports? All the ports that is open, is it the necessary ports that is expected to be open? So this, as you're carrying out this vulnerability investigation, then from there you now go ahead to safeguard the system and provide recommendation as time goes on. So to carry out all this methodology, there are so many tools that can be used to carry out this methodology. First, one of the tools on my list here is intrusion detection, intrusion, that is IDS and IPS, intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. This is standing on the network side to protect all forms of intrusion and to prevent it from happening. And also firewalls also, like I was trying to explain, that imagine that your organization has an internet network and you did not consider having a firewall, to be installed on the network. What will happen if a malicious a user or an anonymous user now send a malicious payload or malicious content to that particular system to exploit it? So a firewall is very important, and because this firewall is one of the device that can serve to protect the internet network. Whatever content that is entering the internet network, the firewall, if it is among the whitelist, it will go in. If it is among the blacklist, it will of course take it down. And to also ensure that whatever information that the internet network is sending out to the outside person, it's going to ensure as well that such information does not contain some certain level of sensitive data. So that is what firewall does. So
Okay,
let's continue.
while you
Can you
continue,
hear?
people are raising their hand for questions. While you continue, people are raising their hand for questions. So quickly, in the next few minutes, he's supposed to be done. Then the next speaker that we're talking about pen test will cover. Please keep all your questions then so that you don't interject their thoughts because they are speaking from their wealth of knowledge. So you don't interject it. So you just keep your question. I see all the hand that are being raised. I'm observing it. I'm not blind. I'm just saying give us in the next 5 minutes it will be done, and then the next person that is going to speak start. And when he's done, we'll take all of the question and we'll be done. We're not doing a lot, it's just training and go. Thank you guys. So please continue.
Okay, thank you for that, LD. So next is SIEM solution. SIEM stands for Security Information and Event Management. So this particular solution is one of the key tool for a blue teamer, outside from the firewall, IDS, and the rest, because this particular tool is basically for event management. You monitor logs, who and who has access to a particular system, who and who requested for a system, for a particular resource from that particular organization network. So this SIEM is also a very nice tool. One of the example of this SIEM is we have Alien Vote. We have I think and also and so many others, as I remember they are going to tell us as well. So these particular tools, they help to ensure that a system is safe from all forms of attack. Remember, we are coming from the defensive view of cybersecurity. So if there's any attack, we're going to see it, and from that, if we are to take it down, we'll take it down. Or if we are to escalate it to the next level for treating and other things, we're going to escalate it. So that is what basically this SIEM solution does. So next is threat intelligence platform. So now this threat, what is threat? Something that poses, you know, as a should I call it, that can serve as a that can serve as a thing that can affect a system. Let's say, for example, someone meet you and say that, okay, such a person is threatening me. That means such a person is trying to carry out an approach or a thing that will going to affect the other person. So that threat intelligence is one of the tools. Threat intelligence platform is one of the tools that a blue might usually use to carry out their analysis. We have packet analysis is very important. As you're carrying out your SIM solution, you have to as well analyze packets from the network side. And you can do this using Wireshark. Wireshark is a very powerful packet analyzing tool that can use to analyze traffic and analyze packets of a particular request to know the content of that packet. So that particular this packet analysis is coming from the network aspect of cybersecurity. Next to the blue teaming, there one of the two is log and packet aggregation. I've talked about log, and we can see that it's all about audit and monitoring to ensure that everything is intact. I used to feel that okay, blue teamer doesn't have much thing to do. Not until I got a particular offer to serve as one of the blue team and also one of the red team as well of that particular company. There is a lot of work, a lot of audits, a lot of log analysis, so many things. As you are auditing a system, you have to ensure that, and you also have to follow up to ensure that such particular vulnerability that has been seen from your analysis, you have to follow up to ensure that such vulnerability has been closed up. So we have active endpoint detection and response, which is the EDR, which is one of the two again. So let's look at quickly the roadmap that we, as a cybersecurity person or a beginner in cybersecurity to carry out a career in blue team, the roadmaps such a person is expected to follow. Now, I made this particular roadmap to be two. You can decide to start with this particular advice. This advice is given by Ali Khan. We can search about the guy. He was the one that gave this advice. So if you can start with this particular associate blue team security professional courses, which include Network Plus, SBT, that is Security Blue Team, which is SBT level 1. We have so many SBT. We have SBT level 1, SBT level 2, and others as well. So, and also CEH, which is also a certified ethical hacking. So you can decide to go from this particular associate blue team security professional courses. You can go down to the blue team security professional course, which is certified SOC analyst, and also Compatia CISA Plus, which is also another a similar certification relating to certified SOC analyst, because they're all talking about cybersecurity analyst. And also we also have the EC Council certified incident handler. Is also one of the roadmap one can take after you have gotten one of these or two of these or more than one of these, if the person so desire to, before the person can decide that okay, want to go to this or go to this or go to this other one as well. Can you still see my screen, please?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, now this very one, it's more simplified and more easy for one to understand. The next slide right now. Now we can start with networking. Have a basic knowledge of networking. We can take a CCNA course. We can take a Huawei course on networking and get certified as well. So on that, when we have gotten that networking knowledge, we can go down to cybersecurity foundation training, which include Security Plus, Sec 401, and so many others. If we can even decide to go to, we can even decide to take a EC Council certified ethical hacking, which is also one of the foundation courses. After we have gotten this knowledge in step 2, then we can now advance to SOC fundamentals. That is Security Operations Center, because this Security Operations Center is basically talking about defense. It's mainly talking about defense. Then you now have some courses also. I want to share this slide too, so that we can have access to it and reference it as time goes on. So after you have gotten to step 3, then you can now go further to SOC and incident response. Before deciding to go into digital forensic and incident response. These are some of the certification you can take under them. So we can use this as a guide to our career as a blue teamer. Because with this particular flow, we notice that we are coming from a very basic to a more complex and a more detailed course, which is going to guide us on our career path in blue teaming. So we have so many labs that we can use. Some of them, like what I've said, some are free, some we have to pay some little money to access some of the content in that lab. Firstly, here for a blue teamer is Security Blue Team, known as SBT. We can get it from this site here, securityblue.team. So we're going to have access to the lab, we register and sign up, and they're going to give us a virtual environment where we can carry out our analysis and our tests, our monitoring. And after we have done that, they're going to give us a certificate that we participated in, or we have completed such challenge, or that particular challenge as relates to that lab that we are working. We also have Blue Team Lab, which is also blueteamlabs.online. It's also an online lab that we can access, to carry out our analysis and our audits. Let me fast track because of time. I know that World is about to tell me that time up. So next, we also have a Cyber Defender. It's also another blue team lab, blue team lab that can carry out to our testing and the likes, which also goes down to Let's Defend, Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, and so many other labs out there. But most of these ones that have been listed there, you can sign up and have access to some virtual lab for free. Now, let's look at this picture briefly before we're going to populate them with their names. I believe that some of us, we know these guys without even asking who they are. You might have seen their content either on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, or even YouTube. So the first on my list here is Cyber Mentor. We can access his content. He's a very good guy when it comes to in terms of cyber security. He's the one that is the CEO of TCM Security. His content is very detailed, is very detailed. So you can follow him up and get more knowledge as relates to cyber security and blue teaming. We also have Professor Mesa. He's also another nice fellow as relates to cyber security. John Hammond. I can't talk about this without talking about John Hammond. Everybody knows John Hammond. The guy is always there, trying to impact and encourage beginner in cybersecurity on the path to follow and resources and how to gain this knowledge easily. And also on my slide, you also have Network Chalk. This very guy is my favorite. I must say he's my favorite. I always enjoy his content whenever I want to, refresh my head or to learn new things. I'll just go to his site and view that content. So you can have access to it on this site. And I can't end this presentation without talking about the legend of hackers, of all hackers, late Kelvin Mitnick. He died a few weeks back, so we can access some of his book. It's very detailed. I'm going to give us enough information, especially that Ghost in Wire. then we can access it. I've not finished reading it. I'm still reading it up to date. So you can access it and get. I'm going to get enough knowledge as it relates to cybersecurity and how to defend uh, organization network. And not only that, there are so many more out there. The Google is your friend. Even we can even follow ourselves, and as we are sharing content, we are educating ourselves. You can follow, Welding the Cybernet in Twitter, LinkedIn, and the rest, and you get content. You can also follow me as well to get content as related to cybersecurity. So, and so many other professionals out there. We can follow them and they want to guide us on how to go ahead with cyber security. So I know that I've taken more than 20 minutes, so I apologize. And if you have any question, when is the time, please, we can ask the question. Or you can also reach out to me with my email address, my personal email address, and my phone number, and I'll be there to respond to your questions as related to cybersecurity. Thank you for your time.
Okay, Mr. Thank you very much, Solomon.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity. So let me quickly allow the next person to speak. Remember, I said, please keep all of the questions, write them down so you don't forget. So that will just take 10 minutes to answer all the questions before we go. Because if we keep answering questions, we may not have time to cover the next slide. Then, Mr. Solomon, please allow some people join. They said some photo students are begging to join back, and they were not the person who did that. So let's allow them join. So put it up again. So, Mr.
Okay,
Joshua, go
okay.
ahead.
They should send their request, and I'm going to
Yeah, I'll tell
accept them.
their guide to tell them to send you request. So, Mr. Joshua, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So, Ms. Wodo, I want to use this opportunity to thank you for granting me this opportunity to be able to be here today to speak on what I do best, which is penetration testing. So, because of time, I wouldn't like make a brief introduction about myself, but I go by the name Sec for Trace. You can check me out in different social handle with this guy here. So I go by the name Sec for Trace, and I'm a 10-year-old cybersecurity enthusiast. I'm also a penetration tester. I love to do penetration testing 24/7, like full time. So today I'll be talking about the roadmap to being a successful penetration tester. And I hope everyone can hear me clearly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
All right. So, the first thing I ask people is, as a penetration tester, what's your goal? What is your main goal? So, a penetration tester's ultimate goal is to help uncover and recommend physics for hidden flaws in digital or physical networks before bad guys or malicious attackers can exploit them. So what this means is before anybody like you're hired, a company hire you, could be a company, it could be an individual, it could be anybody hire you, come, okay, text our system for us, okay, run a pen test on this network, run a pen test on this website, run a pen test on this system. Mostly it's done with system. When we come to physical pen test, when we come to performing acts like social engineering, that's where we have the red teamers. So you should know the difference. The red teamers are more of the advanced guys than penetration testers. They involve in physical attacks and other attacks like war driving, social engineering, and stuff like that. But as a penetration tester, our main goal is to test a target system or a client system before the attackers manage to find the vulnerability. Yeah, the vulnerability we find before those attackers can find it and then exploit it. So getting started as a penetration tester, the first thing I will ask you to do is you should know yourself. That's the first thing I will always advise anyone who want to get into penetration testing. You should know yourself. First of all, like I said, you have to have the passion for problem solving. Trust me, there's a lot of problems in penetration testing. I'm not going to lie for you. So there's a lot of problems in penetration testing to solve. A lot of problems, a lot. And you must love good challenges. Trust me, there are a lot of challenges there. A lot of challenges. A lot of challenges. And God will always be your friend. I always tell people, God will always be your friend. You must have that skill. You must always have that skill, the skill to find out things by yourself. You should also think outside the box. Thinking outside the box is not necessarily means you are like solving, maybe you're good at math or no. No, it might be an advantage, another advantage for you, but when it comes to penetration testing, there's some kind of rigorous thinking you need to do. You need to think craftily. You need to think like the bad guys. You need to think otherwise. You understand? So my next point is you are curious and love to learn. Now, this is a very big step. This is a very, very big step. You must be ready to learn. Penetration testing, there's never a stop to learning. You will always learn, always learn. You are always learning. Why? Because there are new vulnerabilities evolving, there are new technologies, IoTs, people are creating new technologies, and there are vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities, there will always be vulnerability. So now I'll be giving you a detailed roadmap to getting into penetration testing. And my first roadmap is networking. So I would advise you to know networking. Like I made a comment down there. I said you should record this section because I expect you to go out there, research more on whatever roadmap I give you here, research more on networking, research more on everything I'm going to talk here today. So networking, TCP/IP, you must understand how IPs work. You must understand OSI model down from the application layer to the physical layer. You must understand how DNS works, domain name system. You must understand how UDP, DHCP works, and a lot of networking terminologies out there. Also, Linux. Now, this is one thing most people run away from. Linux, Linux, Linux. Whenever you run to, you see Linux. A lot of people run away from Linux. And trust me, this is what we use in penetration testing. My host OS now, as I'm talking to you, is the Linux operating system. I use Kali. So Linux must always be your um go-to operating system. It could be Kali, it could be Parrot, Black Box, Black Hatch. I don't choose operating systems for people. You have the opportunity to explore. There are plenty offensive operating systems out there you can explore. And like I said, yeah, you need to learn file systems, you need to learn protocols like SSH, FTP, SFTP, Telnet. You need to understand how all this stuff work and how you can maximize tools on Linux in order to be able to connect, in order to be able to like solve problems. So these operating systems are listed here, like the most beginner friendly ones. I think for a beginner just starting out in penetration testing, I would recommend you Kali Linux and Parrot OS. Now the next year is scripting language. Now this is where the fun begins. Like there's a lot of fun in scripting. Telling yourself you can actually do more. Like telling yourself you can do 10 things at a time. It's the joy of every penetration tester. Now, when we talk about scripting languages, we are talking about how can you solve problem fast. How good are you at solving problem fast? Okay, you have an Nmap scan running. Nmap is a port scanner. Definitely, there's something we call port and protocols. Now, some systems usually have open ports that maybe the protocol is always insecure, like the famous HTTP we know, and it's at port 80. So how can you allow your Nmap scan to be running and then maybe just output it to another scanner to do the rest? Okay, maybe output port 80 to Nikito, or output the given results back to another scanner. So it's just about doing things fast and being sensitive. So the examples here are Bash and Python. Now, Bash is the number one I recommend here, because with Bash, like the default scripting language for Linux is Bash. So once you know Bash, then you're good to go. Now, why I added Python here is because of the modules. The modules. Python has a lot of modules. Python has a lot of modules like sockets, there are a lot I can't really remember now. So yeah, Python has a lot of modules that you can actually use to make things easier and faster for us. Then the next thing is Active Directory. Active Directory, Active Directory. Now, Active Directory is one of the most used like technologies in internal penetration testing. Now, internal penetration testing involve banks, like call it major offices. Like a lot of companies uses Active Directory, and Active Directory focuses on Windows. We all know the famous Windows operating system, right? Yeah. So domains, we have domains. You must know how domains work. You must know trees. You must know forest. You must know trust, both the transitive and directive trust. So stuff like that, you must be able to manage it. Trust me, there are more to this. Like there are more roadmaps, but this is just a detailed guide on how to go about being a successful penetration tester. Now, the next thing I would advise is practice. I'll have really love to put the exams first, you get. But after all this study here, I mean, after all this study right here, you might still not be getting the hang. Like, you might be like, something is not right. Yeah, something is definitely not right. Then this is where you should put your skill to practice. We have um we have a lot of website we can practice. We have tried me, we have pointed down. I'd love to share most of this website with us. So let me just share my screen here, and let me just open up a new tab here. So we have Track Me, and Track Me is a very beginner friendly, beginner friendly platform because it offers a wide range of interesting labs. Okay, I'm meant to let me just put that back. So trackme.com, remove that guy. So we have Track Me, we have Pontidon. Yeah, we have Pontidon, we have Act the Box. Let me just use this three as an example now. So Track Me offers a lot of advantage. Like there are a lot of stuff on Track Me you can learn as a beginner. If you go to the learning modules, it's not totally free, but the free part here are a great way for you to test your skills. As if I go out to practice here, and there are a lot of labs here that are actually free for you to practice them out on your own and test out what you have learned and your penetration testing roadmap. Now, Pontidon is actually a direct site, like it's a really direct site, like just go there, go to targets, just navigate to targets. You can read the instructions on the dashboard, navigate to target, and just start attacking systems. Like they give you different IPs, you can see here. They give you different IPs. So now you know that you are in a safe environment. And that's what I usually tell people. If you want to conduct a pen test on a company, the first thing to do is to ask for permissions, bro. You don't conduct a pen test before permissions. It is definitely wrong. Why? Because they might lock you up. That is one disadvantage here. If you conduct a penetration testing, whether it's legal or it's illegal, and you're being caught, bro, they're definitely locking you up. So the next thing to consider is Act the Box. Now, Act the Box is not beginner friendly. I won't call it beginner friendly, but if you are grounded with this guy, this track me here, then definitely Active Box shouldn't be a problem for you because they offer a lot of beginner friendly. You can see at ATB Academy. We have labs where you can test out your skills. What else do we have there? We have business, we have CTF. Now, business is for I think university students. That's for like a bulk payment. So ActiveBox offers a lot of opportunity, a lot of free content there to study modules. The only problem here is you need to pay or you just be using cubes. There's something we call cubes whereby they give you 30 cubes after you register with them. Once you register with them, then the more you learn, the more you gain your cubes back. The more you learn, the more you give me cubes back. The more you learn, the more you gain your cubes back. So I think this is the I think yeah, this is the academy. So I don't know log in this, but there are a lot of modules here. They have different certifications and all. I think they have the CBBT, they have the penetration testing specialist, which is CPTS, they have the bug bounty hunter, and I think this is the two certification they have for now, but there are literally more. But you need to sign in first. So I'll just go back to my slide here. So there are a lot of labs you still need to practice here, like over the wire that offers Geopardy CTF. We have VonHub also. VonHub offers virtual machines. Now the next thing to do is to join active communities. Active communities. Now I would say like when I got into penetration testing, nobody gave me a community. Nobody told me join this community. No. What I did was I reached out to I went to Twitter, I went to Discord, and I just put up the search query cybersecurity, especially Google. Just put up the search query cybersecurity communities. Telegram, there are a lot. Discord, there are a lot of cybersecurity communities like Red Team Village and TCM and BIC, which I know are really, really active for me. So you can also go to Reddit. Reddit also offers just the social media platform. It offers a wide range. Twitter too. There's a positive side of Twitter. Trust me, the communities there are really great. There's a positive side, and when you have communities, you build networks. Building networks now, you cannot just have this roadmap here without building networks. If I tell you building networks, I mean you should check out numerous people. Hey, I love what you do. Yeah, I'm a penetration tester. Can I can we do something together? Okay, you got a company. Can I start as an intern? Yeah, something like that. Show the passion, and you can also build up a portfolio, which is outside of the scope of this whole space here. So you can build up a portfolio. We know what a portfolio is, a portfolio website, and then start documenting everything you do, especially CTFs. Once you're documenting, you're writing them down, you give them a write up. I think I have typical one write up here. Um, I think I have a write up here. Yeah. Let me just check that. So sorry for that. Okay, so let me just open this up here. I've got a website called secfortress.cheatup.io. And I have a few write-ups here. Okay, let's take for example, I have source here. So now, a typical write-up is something like this. Just write on words, whatever you feel like. Yeah, I saw this stuff on track me. Yeah, let me give a write-up there. Let me put something out there. And there are lots, there are still lots that I actually have on my other blog, but it's not currently active. So there are a lot to build, there are a lot to do. So once you can build this particular network with the right people, because definitely there's still some people you're still going to meet that you are not, you don't know who they are definitely, but just the I love what you do. Yeah, can I talk more about what I do? Can I tell you more about penetration testing? Okay, I know this is my blog, this is my cyber. Okay, I participated in so competition. My team came third. That is what we're talking about. You get, so just try to like put yourself out there, sell yourself out there, put yourself out there. So without too much talk, because of our time, I'll be going into certifications, and this is where I probably know that people are really waiting for. Now, certifications might be really difficult for a lot of people to choose. That's why I'm going to emphasize more on certifications. So we have a lot of certifications. We have a lot of pen test certifications, not just the seven I stated here. Nah, don't think these seven. These are just the popular ones. I feel if you have, and you are hot cake in the market. And definitely, definitely, it's not like you can't afford this, but definitely before you afford this, you must be having 10 to 15 years experience in penetration testing. If you're a beginner to penetration testing, let me just pull this up. Yeah, so if you're a beginner to penetration testing, the first cert I will actually advise you to take is EJPT, which is the inline security practical, yeah, junior penetration testing. Inline security junior penetration tester. So this certification actually it's quite popular, very popular cert. It's popular among the penetration testing community because it's gonna make you solid. It's gonna give you the angle of how a junior penetration tester is, and you can see the price here. And does the Egypt okay? These are other informations you can get. We have host and networking, and these are the modules you're going to cover. In the first module, you cover assessment methodologies, web application penetration testing, host and networking penetration testing, host and networking auditing. So GPT is a really good way to test out your skills, more especially if you love hands-on. Like you can see, we have 11 courses, videos, quizzes, and you can see a lot of labs here, 120. So you can just come to the site, and I believe Miss World will drop it on the group. There are a lot of stuff here. You can see the EJPT exam consists of 35 questions pertaining to assessment methodologies, host and network penetration testing. So there are a lot of modules on. There are a lot of great labs on the EJPT, I mean, inline security that they offer, and this is going to be a great opportunity for a start if you want to start out in penetration testing. We also have now PJPT. Now, this is one of my best certification for a junior level. It's not quite popular. It came out a few months back. Yeah, it came out a few months back. It's a new cert in the market. But this cert is top notch. Trust me when I tell you this cert is top notch, because what this cert focuses on is internal penetration testing. Now, if I didn't tell you the difference between internal and external penetration testing. External penetration testing, it focuses on what majority of what people do now: bug hunting, attacking Linux systems, and all of that. But when it comes to internal penetration testing, we are talking about Active Directory. I made mention of Active Directory before. We are talking about Active Directory. Active Directory is a it. I believe that in years to come, it's gonna be an hot cake in the market because people are using Windows now. Check out when Windows have been existing from down to I think Windows I can't remember, but down to, let's take for example Windows XP to 11 now, and people are still using Windows. People are still using Windows without security. Trust me, there are still great flaws in Windows. The Windows 7 out there is still vulnerable to MS 017, MS 17 010, which is the internal blue attack that literally gives you total control over anybody using Windows 7. That's just an int. And trust me, there are still various people out there using Windows 7. Like, go check many companies, they still use Windows 7 till today. As I'm talking to you, they still use Windows 7. And this certification focuses on Active Directory. You can see it's quite cheap at the moment. And you have 2 days. One thing I like about this certification is you have 2 days to attack the machines. They're going to give you virtual machines to attack, and you have another 2 days to write reports, which is a very good and necessary skill for a penetration tester. You must be able to write detailed report like the one I just showed you on the website. Well, something more or advanced than that. So you must be able to write a good report, and this certification covers it all. The next one in the list, I think, is the CEH. Now, the CEH, I would say it's what the hype war. A lot of HRs, hiring managers can be bypassed with this SAT. This SAT is I would not say it's what the hypo. It's actually a very popular SAT that can actually bypass HRs if you want to get a job very, 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 very fast. Take CEH. Take CEH. It's gonna offer a lot of opportunities, but there's no one thing you should know, it's there is no practicals here. You just no practicals. Definitely no practicals. You just reading and reading and reading. And trust me, you cannot be a successful penetration tester without solving labs, solving practicals. That's why you see some people they actually add it in their portfolio. They can say CH practicals, and some people just have ordinary CH there. So CH is a great SAT. It offers a lot of stuff. It also offers a lot of opportunities. Also, we have number 5. Okay, so let's check what's that. Okay, control 5. Okay, yeah. So the CompTIA Pen Test Plus. Now, this is one of my like I really love CompTIA. Their certifications are based on if you're in the US, you're in the UK, this certification is well respected and well known there. It's very wide, it's very known widely there. The Computer Pen Test Plus, it's an advanced SAT than CH. Actually, I take CH to be a SAT that if you want to advance your career in penetration testing, you should consider. That is what I take CH for. But as a beginner, it's still the best thing to do. But just know you are not expecting practicals there. Now, Computer Pen Test Plus, it offers great opportunities because there are a lot of places in Computer Pen Test Plus. There are a lot of modules, a lot of labs. It covers the whole aspect down from a regular penetration tester, what you should know, down to just a summary of everything you can think of as a penetration tester. And you can see what skills will you learn: planning and scoping, information gathering and vulnerability scanning, attacks and exploit reporting and communication, which is actually report writing, and tools and code analysis. So the next one here is okay, did I miss anyone? Yeah, PMPT. PMPT is a very, very good SAT. PNPT is it's not beginner friendly. Let me just put it like that. PNPT, it's not beginner friendly. If you are a beginner, I don't advise you to take the SATs. Did you go for the first SAT I've actually explained previously. So you go for this one, and you can see student will have 5 full days to complete the assessment and an additional 2 days to write a professional report. So, and it's I think you need to finish some modules, I think 3 to 4 modules before you can take the PMPT course. You can see the price here, and they also offer live class. That's one thing I love about TCM. So the next one is here is OffSec. Now this is the beast of the beast when you are talking about gods of certification, of pen testing certification. OffSec is the best. I don't advise you to take this certification if you don't have at least maybe 5 years, 6 years experience. The certification, it's a very thorough certification. Sometimes if you got the source, if you know what you're doing, within 3 years experience, you can take it, sure. But if you're still not sure whether you are good at hands-on, I'm talking about practical. You don't know much about Active Directory. You can't you can't conduct a penetration test without using automation tools. You can't conduct manual penetration testing. That is what OSCP focus on. Manual penetration testing. You are doing the manual stuff. You are hacking manually. There's no tools. There's no Metasploit, which is one of the greatest framework for hacking because it does all approach for penetration testing. The next on the list is GPN, and GPN is a really great certification. In my own opinion, GPN is very, very good certification, though it doesn't offer much of like an hands-on approach, but you can see 82 questions here, 3 hours, and this is all what you are going to cover. Trust me. Exam certification, objective and outcome, advanced password attack, attacking password hashes, Azure, a lot of cloud. You can see domain as a escalation. This is Active Directory. You can see Active Directory keywords. Escalation, which involves Windows privilege escalation and Linux privilege escalation. In this, you actually get the practical approach, but you now have the opportunity to practice it on your own. So I really think with this field roadmap, you should be actually good at penetration testing up to a state that, yeah, you are ready to land your final job. You are ready to land a good job in the field of penetration testing. And like I always advise, penetration testing takes time and effort. You must be willing to learn. You must be patient. You must be willing to learn. Let me put that again. You must be willing to learn. There are a lot of people out there that are very good at this stuff. There are a lot of people that are very good at penetration testing. A lot of guys there, a lot of Nigerians, a lot of people that you think, okay, maybe Nigerians don't have good security system. Trust me, there are still people better at penetration testing in the same Nigeria we are in. So, and trust me, you can actually be like them too. You can actually achieve your dream job if you put in the hard work and the learning never stops. So I guess this is the end of my slideshow, my little TED talk, and I want to use this opportunity once more to thank Moswedo for bringing me here. I really appreciate it. It's a great honor to meet you all. Yeah, thank you very much.